fetish for my day.
But since he's been here, AJ Styles has lived up to the moniker phenomenal.
Is a steel cage match. Making his way to the ring from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the and from Death Valley, weighing in at 330 pounds, The Undertaker.
There may be no entrance more intimidating than that of The Undertaker.
Take it in, guys. This is truly legendary.
Look out. Here we go with the steel cage match. AJ Styles on offense. Incredible.
So much innovation.
The Undertaker is not someone to sleep on.
The Undertaker got him there. The WWE Universe has seen the evolution of the steel cage in the enclosure known today as Hell in a Cell. The first time an enclosed cage was seen was in October of 1983 in the last Battle of Atlanta. The enclosed cage was seen a few years later in the War Games match from the NWA. There were even cages stacked on top of each other like WCW's Tower of Doom.
Byron, we talk about the progression of steel cage matches and the type of structures that have been spawned from them. I need to point out that some cages have been electrified. One was made from bamboo in the form of a Punjabi prison match. And of course, the elimination chamber with glass pods and steel doors.
And today we have the Asylum match, where weapons are on top of the cage. Just goes to show you that times may change, but the objective to just...
Oh, and he slips out.
Wow, looked to me like he had it locked in pretty good. I guess not. The steel cage is a massive enclosure that stands 15 feet in height. For almost 35 years, a select group of high flyers have taken their aerial assaults to greater heights. And when I say that, I mean superstars climb to the top of the steel cage, the real high-rent district, and dive off onto their opponent. And that all started with one man in October of 1983, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
To your point earlier, Byron, we've definitely seen some unbelievable attacks be launched from the top of the steel cage. And you mentioned the most iconic, the steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship that saw Jimmy Superfly Snuka clash against bitter rival, the magnificent Morocco.
There's no denying that Superfly set the bar. You look over the years to people like Jeff and Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. They continued to push the envelope and executed unbelievable attacks from the top of the cage. Watch Rikishi take flight off the top of the steel cage. Wow. The rivalry between Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude began during the Super Pose Down at the 1989 Royal Rumble. Then it progressed to where both superstars battled over the Intercontinental Championship. At SummerSlam 90, the rivals met inside a 15-foot-high steel cage for the WWE Championship. Victory could be achieved by pinfall or escape from the cage.
Corey, the WWE Championship match between the Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude was the second half of the double main event at 1990 SummerSlam. The rivalry between the Warrior and the Ravishing One was so heated that no one knew what to expect once the two men were able to battle inside a steel cage, which at the time was the most grueling match in all of WWE.
The Ultimate Warrior dominated early on with his incredible strength. Rick Rude turned the tables and used the steel surroundings to his advantage. At one point, Rude dove from the top of the cage onto the Warrior. But after the Warrior's signature Gorilla Press Slam, the Ultimate One climbed over the cage and retained his WWE Championship.
Before 2017's Extreme Rules, there were just 3 previous tag team matches where championship gold was decided in WWE special events. The Hardy Boys were in 2 of those matches. At Extreme Rules, in order to win the match, both members of a team had to exit the cage and have both feet on the floor.
The Hardys used their famous
Here we go. AJ Styles setting up.
Ushigoroshi. What's he gonna do now?
Oh man, the Undertaker's in trouble now.
Oh, well, here we go. The dead man has to find a way to stop this offense.
The best way to describe combatants.
He forces his way free.
Man, he just has so much resolve.
Big move coming. He's just so dominant. With the damage sustained by Undertaker, he could be on his way out.
There's a good chance he can't recover from this.
He's fading fast here, guys. If I'm his opponent, I'm thinking about putting him out of his misery sooner than later.
Whoa, he works his way out.
A bit of a Houdini job right there.
Byron, you touched on this earlier, but it's so important for a superstar to accept that there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide in a steel cage match. That the conflict will be resolved within the 15-foot-high steel walls that surround the ring. And that losing a cage match can mean much more than a mark in the loss column. For some, it has meant the end of their career.
It's difficult to describe the damage that can be done to a superstar who competes in a steel cage match. We see the physical harm, but we don't see the psychological effects from being inside the cage. Make no mistake about it, Michael. The steel cage truly represents survival of the fittest.
After 18 years, people told AJ Styles, you'd never survive in the WWE. After 18 years, people said, you'll never win the WWE Championship. AJ Styles has proven those people wrong.
This singles contest has a victor.
That match deserves another look. Here we go.
Count yourself lucky, people. You might watch WWE for years and only see a match that good a few times. Epic.
Wow, aggressions were certainly at an all-time high during that steel cage match.
Hey, they both gave it their all, but in the end, we were left with the best man standing.
As we close the book on this match, I need to remind everybody just how big of a win this was. Simply amazing.